Hello guys, Lincoln here, and today we have a lot of ground to cover. I'm going to show you my items on my four-man team that I use the Fangrim team setup that basically everyone is using in some way. But if you're curious to see what gear you need, I actually, when I was defeating quite strong opponents as well with this team, I had Lacroix at level 120 or so not that strong at all. Fangrim level 110, and the rest was maxed out, but uh, don't really need two strong heroes, but you need to have the right gear, and this is extremely important. And this is why we need to talk about attack speed before we continue. And this is actually why I scroll around as well. If you're wondering, I want you to check around on these blue dots. This is the Guild War. They are actually the strongest on this server, dominating on this server, and they have a lot of territories that are level 1 and 2 on the outskirts of this map. And this is not by some random foolishness. They know exactly what they're doing, and we're going to discuss that. And this will also be discussing what you as a guild leader should focus on once you come so far that you don't really need those guild coins any longer. You will come to a point where, well, I have 147,000 guild coins, and I have no point. There's no point for me buying more Sadaharu fragments. He's maxed out. Until they increase the max limit, I don't really bother, because that might never happen. So then there are other things to be more concerned about than the level 7 territories. If you want to be a dominating guild, you need to have the best stats for your guild. And that's when we come down to attack speed, okay? So if you check down on these territories, they're actually quite easy to find. When you see a capital with, they have those double squares instead of a normal square on the normal territories. And there's like a bigger city than normal. If you check the bonus they have chosen to take here, it's 10% attack speed for the vampires, okay? If we continue, look around, here's another one they've taken. Instead of a level 7 area, they've taken this one. What's this? 10% attack speed for werewolves. So you probably see where this is heading. Attack speed is the strongest stat you can get. I will discuss why. And especially when it comes to bonus effects on these capitals, it's even more important. It can be a little complicated discussing why, but I will try to make it shorter as well. But basically, if you manage to take as a guild all of these level 1 territories that has attack speed on vampires, werewolves, and humans, you could get up to 50% attack speed boost on these, okay? And when you get to discuss why it's so important to get attack speed, well, there are two reasons why you want to do it just when it comes to capitals. Stat-wise, if you get a 10% crit bonus on your capital, it doesn't mean that you're like Huyun here, he has 24.8% crit. If we get that capital that gives 10% crit bonus, if there's someone like that, I won't get 34.8%. I will get a really, really small amount, and that's because it's not 10% extra, it's 10% calculated on the total crit chance you have without the gear, okay? And say that this guy, he has we can check exactly how much does he. I don't want to unequip, because there's no good way to equip stuff again, you know, and do things manually. I really hate it. But this guy, well, let's see if he has some crit gear. He has 8% here, 7 more there, so that's 15% crit. So he should have almost 10% crit chance. Okay, so without the gear he has 10% crit chance. With a capital bonus that adds 10%, that means 10% off his 10%, so that's 1%. So you will only gain 1%, okay, extra crit. While if you gain attack speed, 10% attack speed, that's based on your attack speed that will be already really high, and it will be a really beneficial bonus for you. And to explain it more, we have discussed before how energy on hit, for example, is a really good stat. You want to gain a lot of energy, right? And in this matter, if we consider energy on hit and attack power and then attack speed, which would be the best? If we gain in some way, we take some gear and get, for example, 10% more attack power, okay? Then Huyun will do more or less 10% more damage. But if we instead choose 10% energy on hit from what he previously have, well then he would do, okay, 10% more energy on hit. But if you instead choose 10% attack speed, well then you will actually get 10% more damage wise, since you do more attacks, you do more damage, and you get more energy on hit. So attack speed is the best stat you can get in this game. So this is what you need to focus on, and because of this reason, now actually Huyun didn't have it because I did some auto-equip for some stupid reason, but if you check all my other heroes basically, they have these boots, level 98 boots, and these are the best in the game, in my opinion. Now you need to avoid, you really don't want, that's another thing I can mention. When it comes to the gear, if you want to know if it's a good gear or not that you roll for, if you ever get energy one hit gear or ever get health regeneration on your gear, it's basically not as good as it could be. So for example, this one has health regeneration 387, so at some point I need to make more boots and try to avoid this health regeneration gear. That's just a fail. I would much more have some extra armor or some more health than the health regen, okay? But no matter that, we have attack speed on all our, oh, okay, so we don't have it on these, but I done some auto equip again because I've been fooling around here. But my main team, basically all of them actually have attack speed as their boots. Even though there are level 150 boots I could use, I use these 98 because I want attack speed. That's just so important, okay? So it's the same thing with Lacroix and the rest of my team. So if we check on, if we start with Lacroix then, he is actually nothing in particular. I did actually manage to get his ultimate to max. This is the one I think is the most important one. And that's basically with the team where you use a Fangrim and the two other supporters, you really don't, and Magla, you really don't do that much damage. So you want to increase your damage output. Lacroix is one of those who can do better if he has a strong ultimate. And he's the only one who heals, so, and his heal comes from his ultimate. So if you can max this one out, it's really nice. But already at level 5, it's really efficient, since you will still have that energy regen down by 70%. Other than that, all of his abilities are good. I've already mentioned this, but this is actually how it looks for me. Stat-wise, I used Lacroix and pushed him like all other of my heroes with full energy regen and energy on hit, and it didn't go any well. I realized I actually needed some more damage output in my team, and I started to actually remove some energy on hit and energy regen on this guy to increase his attack power, because his attack power was at 7,500 power, just to boost everything else to max. And that's not as important as having Nicole, Fangrim and Magla doing their thing. They want to have maxed out on their energy. Lacroix can be a little slower but do heavier punches with a lot of attack power. So that's what I've been doing. Still got energy, but it's the attack power that he currently is focusing on. And as you can see as well, attack speed, really important. So here this one has 16% attack speed, really nice feature with those boots to get even more attack speed. Comes to Nicole Lambda, I would like to get her to 145. Then she actually can use some other chest pieces. I thought I actually made one. Don't know where I can see it, but it's a specific one for her, and it was actually odd. Hope I didn't lose it. But at least the same goes for her. All she wants is energy, attack speed. So attack speed, energy on hit, energy regen, extra health, of course, nice if you can get it. Energy on hit, energy regen, attack speed. Energy on hit, attack speed, and the dodge can never hurt. And the boots, always attack speed boots. And Fangrim, we can actually check the stats as well before I forget. On Magla, attack speed 119, energy regen 19, energy on hit 18. Nothing really fancy, but you need this on all your heroes, so you need a lot of good energy regen and energy on hit gear and attack speed on all of them for this to work. So Fangrim, energy regen, energy on hit, missing the attack speed here. Energy on hit, attack speed, energy regen. Energy on hit, attack speed, energy regen, and attack speed. We want the attack speed. So 86 attack speed, 19 energy regen, and energy on hit 15. Remember, we're doing this loop, so we don't really considering doing too fast damage. If you can manage the sustain the energy, well then you will just keep on pumping those vortexes, but you need the energy for that to work. Magla, of course, you want energy regen, energy on hit, energy on hit 8, but missing attack speed here actually. Attack speed, energy on hit, and attack speed. So this is currently the stats I have. I haven't gone for attack power on neither of these heroes, only some on Lacroix. And then I'm using Bishop. I don't have anything on his abilities as well, as you can see. If you can, push up some extra stun when he gets hit, that's always nice. But the only thing this guy needs, he could actually be needing doing some extra damage. Here you can maybe even auto-equip, doesn't really matter. I go for damage output, and I will actually have to tweak this guy at some time as well. He's more or less just auto. You have seen me making a video as well where we had 105 kills with this team setup and using Ulfuria. But I was thinking, since this is actually a team that this combination is considered, main idea is to avoid your opponents to get near to you. So Ulfuria, since she cannot basically die anyways, you can throw her in the mix and it will work. But what I was thinking is, since she's actually so good in all other cases as well, I tried to not using her in this team setup, and that's why I'm using Bishop instead. So I have Ulfuria free in a 5-man team, a second 5-man team. So that's what I have saved Ulfuria for. So if we check the garrison, I have a very strong assassin team with Ulfuria and Daeva as well. And then we have the Vortex team. So by separating these and just leaving the Vortex team with some easier, simpler hero like Bishop or Daeva or whatever range hero you want to use, you can use basically anything. As you could see in my video as well, you don't even need a 5th player. But I would recommend go for a ranged one and then save Ulfuria If you don't use two teams, well, then you can throw in Ulfuria as well. But in many of these events, we need to use several teams to fight, and then it's actually nice to have Ulfuria in your other team. But I must say, even with a team like this that should be really strong, without Magla in the team, um, it really doesn't work that well. So basically, if you want to use two teams, you want to use two Maglas. So that's the biggest problem I have currently. Magla is just so strong. But at least might get you an idea on attack speed and how to prioritize your gear. And also, as a guild leader and a top guild, once you get strong enough and don't really want those coins any longer, well, then it's time to start looking for these attack speed capitals. Those are the most important if you want to be a leading guild. They are really, really strong, really efficient. If you have 50% more attack speed bonus on your stats, well, that means the other teams that you're facing, they will be having less, you will win. So simple as that. See you guys.